Wow, I am absolutely speechless at how quickly that loaded up. I did actually buy a brand new, pretty high-end PC just to play this game and for this YouTube channel, so I am not used to loading speeds like this. Anyways, let's get into this. It genuinely feels like coming back home. Look at this. It's our own city. And whoa, look at those mountains. Blooming heck. Wow, I do not remember mountains being this high in City Skylines 1. Oh, look at the layering there as well. Ah, that is beautiful. Oh, we are truly surrounded by mountains, even down into the distance there. I am adoring this map already. We have our highway connection coming across this river here into our tile. Let's familiarize ourselves with the key things that are currently unlocked. We've got ourselves zones. Let's click on this and see what is in store for us today. What the heck is this? Okay, well, this is already way more complex than what we were experiencing in City Skylines 1. We've got the standard residential in green, commercial in blue, we have industrial in yellow, office, which we haven't reached yet, and specialized industry. I have never heard of that before, but that sounds really interesting. But let's begin with residential. So firstly, we have EU low density housing, European style single and semi-detached houses. So that gives me the impression that some further on are going to be, I was expecting medium density, but row houses? Oh man, you're telling me we can specialize our buildings this much? That is awesome. European style small apartment buildings? What? Apartment? So you're telling me I can go from low density housing to row housing to medium density housing, apartment buildings? That is so cool. And I presume this is going to be high density now. What? EU mixed housing, European style apartment buildings with commercial space on the bottom and apartments on top. I'm losing my mind. I am losing my mind. This is already an immense step up from City Skylines 1. I cannot explain to you guys how excited I am right now. I'm having so many ideas pop into my mind. I mean, all you have to do is think about your typical high street if you are British or from mainland Europe. And it is so true that most commercial spaces are just shops on the ground floor and your top floors are apartments. We also have EU mixed old town style apartment buildings. So if I'm wanting to build, I suppose, old style European historical cities, I've got this. We have, low rent housing. That's a new one. So I suppose this is going to be like affordable housing, social housing, that kind of stuff, which, you know, in a realistic city is very much necessary. A great addition of realism to the map. And we also have EU high density housing, so big apartment buildings. There is one other bit that I have not touched upon, which is this, EU low density waterfront housing? What the hell is this? European style single detached waterfront houses. Well, I'm telling you something now. I'm telling you something. When we start to build houses along the waterfront here, oh my goodness, are we going to be making the most of European style single detached waterfront houses? Oh my god, it's only now that I've started to zoom in you realize how much you can zoom in. Look at the detail. This is, oh, that's a bit of a dead tree. Well, that wasn't my responsibility. Let's just look the other way. Anyways, back to our city building. Road networks are the heart, and oh my god, what on earth is this? It literally stopped me in my tracks. What are all of these roads? Ooh, what are these? We've got keys. We've got keys now? Since when? We've got covered bridges. We have arch bridges. I mean, this is personalization onto another level. With City Skylines 1, you would have needed mods galore to get to this point, but this is really cool. And we also have medium roads. So we have a 4-lane road as well here. And over here we have a wide key with okay, so when we eventually get to the waterfront, we can start playing around with keys, which is going to be so much fun. First things first is to understand where the wind direction is coming from and going to. It's a rookie mistake, something that I learned the hard way in City Skylines 1. I am most definitely going to be building my industry downwind south of this tile. To make our lives even more difficult, I have just come to realize our water flow is heading upwards from this direction, which is in the opposite direction to our wind. This is an issue because I would always want to have our sewage output near to where our industry is, so our pollution is consolidated. Eventually, we're going to have no choice but to put our sewage outlet over here in the north of the map, which is where I want our residential to be. I'm now going to draw out some roads to plan what I want our initial little village to look like. So enjoy this time lapse, and I'll see you guys once everything has been planned out. I just wanted to stop because I just discovered something amazing. What are these? Roundabouts? These things did not exist in City Skylines. I remember confidently this did not exist. There are so many to go through. Okay, well, I am going to be having a lot of fun whilst building my residential area now with roundabouts. Anyways, back with the time lapse. I'll see you guys in a sec. Just need to interject one more time. Alleys? Interesting. So this, I think, will come in handy quite a bit in the residential areas where you want to have roads that aren't really collectors or arterials, but they just branch out and have a few houses. Back to the time lapse. We have created 3 distinct areas ready to zone in. In this corner, where the wind direction is pointing, we have our industrial area. We have ourselves a great big avenue. We then have a one-way road. As you can see, this one-way road goes around here, up and along. And it basically acts as an access point for all of these dirt roads, which is where the industry is actually going to be zoned in. So we have a fair bit of road hierarchy happening here. Moving down from our industry area, along this winding road, we find our major roundabout. And this roundabout is going to take us all the way down to our commercial and residential area. At this roundabout junction, this is where commercial branches off from residential. To our right, this winding road is going to take us to our commercial area here. At some point, we're probably going to terraform this into a bit of a hill to actually give this curve a bit of a reason to exist. But I love these curves existing. In the real world, at the very least in Europe, which is what this map is based off of, you do not just have pure grids like you get in America. And heading left on this roundabout, you have this great main road, which then leads on to 3 other relatively main roads that will have residential zoned on, but after this, we then have our alleyways that meander around, connect in all sorts of weird and wonderful ways. And what I have tried to do here is adapt to our environments. We have this great, beautiful forest here. I think at some point we could turn this into a walking path. But for the time being, any houses that are constructed around here, I want to try and stay away from the forest. Or if we do build in the forest, we do so thoughtfully, just how we have here with this road coming all the way through here, avoiding as many trees as possible. And now I look at this, I think I will actually build some density and add a few more alleyways into here. I have discovered something absolutely transformational. Cul-de-sacs. I never knew these existed in the game. Since when have cul-de-sacs been a thing? This is going to be absolutely game-changing for our suburbs. Look at this. I mean, just look at this area we've currently got for the suburbs. Every single end point here, we can have cul-de-sacs. This is why I wanted to show you guys my reaction to this, because there are so many aspects of City Skylines 2 that you might be using without batting an eyelid. But I'm using this for the first time, and I think you forget sometimes that a lot of these features did not exist in the vanilla base game of City Skylines 1. In fact, let's use them now. What have we got? That's a cul-de-sac for you, and for you, and for you, and for you too, not forgetting you, and obviously also you. Well, I don't know what you guys think, but I personally really like adding these cul-de-sacs in. I'm going to leave these ones open for now because I have no idea where these roads might lead in the future. And I've left this road here as well to allow for growth. But really, what I think we should be doing now is actually zoning some stuff in. And what better place to begin than our residents themselves? So we're going to come in here. We are going to stay on the fill mode for now. I think at some point in the future, we shall probably start playing around with our paintbrush tools and going for smaller plots. But for now, if something can be completely covered, let us cover it. And look at this now. We already have our first people coming in. I have not been this excited for a long time. Even the crane animations look upgraded from City Skylines 1. I mean, but things seem to be growing everywhere in every single direction, and this is what we want to see. I notice we obviously have 1,000,001 warnings right now of all sorts of issues that they're experiencing. So let's get on to that now. First things first is power. We need a source of energy so these people are happy. So let's take a look, because I have not looked at this tab. Maybe windmills are the way to go to start off with. Okay, this is interesting. So I wonder what all these yellow lines are. What are all these yellow lines in the roads? Okay, so I've just come up with an absolute revelation. Energy gets transferred through roads now? That makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. You don't need to have houses connected to each other, just like in City Skylines 1. Well, I am very happy to see that in this base game. I think that is very impressive. There is nowhere in my current tile that has wind speed to facilitate a wind turbine. So I think I'm gonna have to go with what I really don't want to do and build a small coal power plant. We can always upgrade it in the future, but I think it's what we're gonna have to do for the time being to keep our city alive for the greater good of our people. Like 117 Grove Lane. Do you get that, guys? If you ever get ill from the pollution downstream from you, always blame these people here. We did it for the greater good. We did it for the people of Grove Lane. Okay, now my conscience is in check. Let us build this power plant. I think a good location would be here. So let us draw a road just like so. We shall get our coal power plant. That's going to cost us 100,000 of whatever that currency is. I have to figure out what the name of that currency is, but we're going to have to plop it down like we have no choice. And so down it goes. Look at this monstrosity. It's almost as if the 1800s has met the 21st century, looking at the two different directions of this power station. But I don't know, I kind of like the look of it. It's going to be a bit of an eyesore for the poor residents there, but at least the wind direction is going to keep them safe. Okay, everybody buckle up. So you're telling me we've got power lines that connect. Okay, so we've got power lines that connect the power station. Okay, I can get behind that. But then what happens after? No way. So you've got transformer stations in the game now. Okay, so you cannot directly convert high energy into, like, you can't just connect it to buildings. You need to have your high voltage converted into lower voltage, and then that can go to places. That is clever. I love this game. And hold on a sec, what's happening over here? Low voltage cables, bottleneck, So we can actually have an overload? I am going to have a lot of fun with this. I personally want us to be self-sufficient. I want us to be building upon a system that we produce ourselves. So we're gonna go off the grid, for power at least, and we are going to produce our own energy down here. We are then going to get our power line and connect it onto the main grid. Oh, look at that. How beautiful does that look? There is nothing more beautiful than brutalist industrial architecture in a nature-filled area surrounding us. And I suppose what that then means is we're going to have some form of transformer station around our residential area, which we will do right now. We're going to stick ourselves a small little transformer station just like this, and then we are going to connect. How does this work? So this goes here, that goes there. Simple stuff. And there's our transformer station. Oh, great. Perhaps in the future this little area could be home to some of our other utilities that I'm sure we're going to be having to implement at some point in the near future. Let's just give this poor little transformer station a bit of road access as well. Let's just take it there. There we go. And that basically sorts us out because we have power connection now directly from the transformer station to the road, which now connects our entire network. It's all well and good now that we have a power source. You can put your baked beans in the microwave. You can even plug in your air fryer so you don't have to cook a single thing tonight. However, I think there is going to be more of a pressing problem with flushing your toilet, washing yourself, drinking a simple, cool, fresh glass of water. Quench that thirst that remains after your salty, air-fried meal, courtesy of our beautiful transformer station. So next, we have to get some water. This is already blowing my mind. So you are telling me we have got different pipes for water and sewage, or actually you can have dual pipes as well. I think that makes complete sense. I never really understood why we had water pipes going to our sewage pumping stations. It just made zero sense from my perspective. So I really like that addition. We do still have a fairly significant amount of money in our bank right now, but I do not want to start abusing the power we have. So however much I would want to build a large water pumping station, I'm going to hold off. We currently have a relatively small community that I think would benefit from nothing more than a multi-column elevated water tower. So I'm going to plop it down here in our little utilities hub. Oh wow, it really is quite small actually. How does it compare in size? I'm just curious, like a large, oh wow, that is a big mama. Geez, okay, yeah, we don't need that for the time being. This will do the job next to our cute little transformer station. So water, at least the sourcing of water, is done. Now we have to think about the less pleasant things. And just like that, milestone 1 is unlocked. Tiny village. Your efforts are bearing fruit and your city has taken its first steps towards success. I don't know about that yet, but we will most definitely be reaching success at some point soon, I am sure. Back to what we were dealing with. Sewage. Okay. It's something we don't want to talk about. It's something we don't even want to think about. So how about we keep it far, far away from our beautiful city sprawling over there? And by the looks of it, they are desperate for sewage because I don't want to know what kinds of leakages are happening over here, but I don't want them to be sustained. So let's work on a sewage system as soon as possible. The water is heading down this way. So really, we want to be going to the furthest corner of our map as possible and dropping our sewage outlet right here, right on the corner, as far as we can go, just like that. Okay, let's get a sewage pipe now. Okay, we've got our sewage pipe now connected. Let's take it to our city. I'm going to try and keep it along roads as much as possible to try and make it look and come across as realistic as possible as well. But that seems all connected. And these people's worries, just like that, disappeared. I just realized we have a bit of an issue here with our power station. We do not want our coal being completely covered in God knows what. So let's quickly just add a road in to connect the power station up. Perhaps my naivety is showing now because we currently have a really, really low availability of water. I presume it's the power station that's taking this much water, and if so, I guess we've got no choice. There we go. We've got a friend for our first tower. Can we name the tower? Put something in the comments below as to what we should call our two little towers here. I like how it's kind of the first thing that you see when you enter the city, or the village, I should say, really. Now, I live in London, and I don't think I have ever seen this many cranes before, but I'm happy they're here and I welcome them. Talking about construction, I think it's time to start constructing a different type of building. We have our people moving in here, and to be completely honest with you, I think this power station will probably be able to employ all of them. However, we are going to be growing and we are going to need a place for them to work, so let's build some industry. It's needed. We have already got an absolute filling of industrial space here. I mean, before we did have fairly high demand. Looks like commercial's the next one to come though. But let's leave this industrial space to just sit here and we'll see how quickly it grows. Well, do I smell money or is it the carcinogens? I don't really care because we are making some money. That is a lot of industry all at once. Once again, like I said, these fumes, do they hurt us? Yeah, but it's giving us money, so we have to see what's really important in this context. Look at it. I did make the slight mistake of not actually seeing which industrial place plotted first, because I would have turned it into a bit of a shrine, I suppose, a place of worship, the first place that pollution ever existed in. Well, apart from the coal power plant, obviously, but we don't really think about that. Oh, who's this? Hello. Yeah. Randall Chambers. He's an adult, he's going to work, poorly educated. We can follow him. Okay, that's it. He's working at Crapfish Granules. I do not envy you, Randall. I'll be honest with you. Mr. Chambers, you go and crap your fish or whatever Crapfish Granules is, and I will stay here being the mayor. But let's follow you. We're going to follow you, sir, and see what happens to you. And hopefully we check up on you again before you die. Definitely not from the terrible pollution that is currently flooding your lungs. Look at our residential area. Look how cozy it looks. Is it just me or does it look cozy? You've got a beautiful forest in this direction. In this direction, you're going to have some shops appear. And look at it. You've got our beautiful cul-de-sacs that you did not have in City Skylines 1. We've got some houses still being constructed, actually, so we'll see what happens there. But I don't know, from an external perspective, the houses look unique. They're spaced out really well. We have ourselves some pretty big houses here. I mean, that was kind of my fault for building such big plots, especially when you have some really poor houses like this one here that seems significantly smaller. Why they just have gas canisters outside in their drive, I don't know. I'm not going to ask, but it does actually make me realize I could probably do with a fire station, and depending on what these canisters are going to be used for, we probably need a police station as well. But we'll get to that in another episode. For the time being, we have priorities, and our priority right now is commercial. We have our residential area here, we've got industrial, but we need commercial, and this is where it is going to be. And these are just spawning in like wildfire. I mean, I'm not surprised. Our people need a place to shop. It will be really interesting to see how these places differ in size and what kinds of things these shops are going to be selling. Hopefully not really stupid things like petrol stations. Like, why would you have a petrol station in a shopping district like this? I don't know. I'm trusting that there is intelligence in the developers' minds. Oh dear. Okay, we already have a petrol station. Mind you, it's fairly small. I guess it's not going to be too much of an issue. As long as we don't have loads of... Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? We've got a petrol station here already. Why do we need another one? And it's like 5, 6, 7 times the size. Okay, as long as those are the only petrol stations, I think I will be fine and I won't have a mental breakdown. What I'm more concerned about is how much effort has been put into modeling all of these petrol stations. Why are there so many? We don't need this. Well, as long as it's only 3 petrol stations, we should be fine. But yeah, I am very happy with our commercial area here. It's nicely segmented from our residential area. It means this area isn't going to get too saturated with traffic. And I think that's a really good start to a city that will hopefully in time grow to become a very successful one and a very profitable one. Profits being a very important thing here, considering we are currently losing nearly 13,000. I'm just going to call them dollars for now, even though we're in Europe. Okay, I'll call them euros. Actually, okay, now we're losing 15,000, 16,000. Okay, we keep losing more money. We're going to have to do something about it. But that is going to be for another episode, because I think I have experienced a lot of things already in City Skylines 2, just from this episode alone. There are so many things in this game that there were not in City Skylines 1, and it just makes me so excited to play more and more and more and make even more content, because if this is what the game is going to be like, I am here for it. I mean, we've discovered cul-de-sacs. I never thought roundabouts were going to be a thing until I saw it today. I've discovered a new way that power is delivered with transformer stations. I've discovered the beauty in pumping toxic chemicals into the lungs of your residents in the name of profit. And I've discovered some brand new, really exciting ways of zoning that I cannot wait to experiment with in episodes to come. And I think that's about it for the first episode in the series. Well, my first ever episode on YouTube, full stop. And I have to say, I have had so much fun making this and cannot wait to film some more content. Considering I am such a new creator in this space, a like and subscription would really and truly go a long way, and I will forever be thankful for your engagement. So, if you want to keep seeing me experience City Skylines 2 for the first time ever, then stay tuned and I will see you all very, very soon.